What's going on, guys? We have another Sunday afternoon Raft review. Today we're discussing Wolf Children, and we have the main three here. We have Zombie Duck. I'm your host, as always. We have Stats Duck.
Oh!
And we got Peking Duck.
The awoos, man. I got all the awoos from that movie.
Alright, guys, we all watched the movie last night, so let's just jump right into it.
Good ass movie.
Wolf Children. Alright, I guess I'll start.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
So, compared to the, I wasn't here last week, or last episode, but the episode before that was, I was talking about the animation, how they used the 3D.
Yeah.
And this was pure 2D. Just good old 2D cell animation. And it was beautiful. Like, the attention to detail on everything. All the landscapes. The backgrounds. Like, it was just...
Bro, first
beautiful.
scene, they're leaving.
Beautiful.
She's walking out of the college with him. And I was like, bro, look at those doors.
Yeah.
Just appreciate those doors.
Yeah. I noticed that...
I thought they were photos at some point, but they're not.
No, they're not. Everything was just hand drawn, and just the attention to detail was amazing. I saw that they took some shortcuts when it came to the actual the characters. Like when they were far away, they just put really subtle details, but not much. They were all everything was just landscape and backgrounds, which to me it was like
I appreciate that. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. There was one scene where I think the daughter was really far away, and as she was getting closer, they kept putting more details on her face until she was in front of the camera. I thought that was awesome.
I also kind of like the fact that they had more landscapes instead of like a lot of people, because it kind of fit with the theme of the story.
Yeah,
like it was cool.
Like the raindrops. Then you had
That wait, I don't want to go into it because it's a spoiler. We're gonna talk about the whole movie.
Yeah.
But like,
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, don't watch this.
There's that scene when the mother's laying down and the rain's falling, and then you see her looking into the sky, and the rain's dropping onto her eyes. It's like shit, that actually happens too, because that happened to me before, and I was like, why the fuck is this a thing?
And when the kids are running around as wolves, those scenes were gorgeous.
Yeah. So I guess we should probably describe the plot.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning.
I'll talk about the beginning, you can talk about the middle, and Zombie Duck can talk about the ending.
Okay.
So, the beginning part...
The middle.
The middle was the best part.
No, it was all really good, but I don't know which one's middle or end.
Well, whenever I end, you can continue from there.
Gotcha.
So, the beginning is narrated by the daughter, who is Yuki. And she's talking about her mom, and basically her time, I guess it was... college? I think it was college.
I think beginning or end of university.
Yeah. And it starts from there. She meets a boy who just looks, emo as hell in her class.
Bro, was he wearing sandals or not?
No.
Okay,
he was
barefoot. He was barefooted.
Thank you.
I thought he was wearing sandals the whole time. I was like,
I was sitting here with Peking Duck, and I was like, yo, I really think he's barefoot. And he's like, I feel like there's like sandals.
Should be sandals. No, he was barefooted. And then she just, I guess, gets attracted to that emo status, which I know a lot of girls are attracted to.
Going back.
And then we find out that he's not even attending the school. He's just there on his own, sneaking in, which I have done before. I am guilty of that, just dropping into classes when I was in college. And she just kind of just starts falling for him. And I guess, when I started watching the movie, I know that Yuki was narrating, saying that it's all about her mom and the years up to where she had to raise everybody, like the two kids. But
those montages were lit.
I think they did a good job in getting into the characters, with just not much dialogue in the beginning.
The music in this movie is just really good.
Music, landscape, and just subtle things, just showing emotion, showing how they fell in love, showing the emotional attachment that she felt for him.
The struggle of him.
Because at some points, at some point I'm like, okay, where is he? How come he's not showing up?
Bro,
you know?
where is this dude?
Yeah, and then of course they introduced the whole concept where I guess he felt comfortable, to tell her that he is a wolf.
Yeah, and it came right after they were talking about their futures.
Yes.
Oh,
And
bro.
she was like, and I'll be there to welcome you home. I was like,
bro,
whoa.
That whole scene is like, when he's about to say it, and he's, they're like, you know what, I'll tell you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then she goes to the meetup spot at night,
Yeah.
and early in the morning, he comes by, and she's just, like, smiling after the whole entire thing about talking about where her name comes from.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, bro, like, how are you gonna do that to her?
Yeah, I was like, bruh. At least he showed up.
Yeah, he did show up.
It's a tough thing to...
Yeah, oh no, of course.
And of course, we don't know the struggle at this point.
Yeah, it's a struggle of revealing your identity,
Right.
and this guy's a fucking wolf. It's different if, like, by the way, I'm like a Navajo Indian. It's, like, it's not at all the same.
So
I'll
he...
keep it on the low.
Yeah. So he revealed to her that he is a wolf, and I don't know if you guys know this, but when they were about to sleep together, he was a wolf.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't a human man.
Trust me,
Listen,
we
made
so
jokes. We
my
made
first-
so many jokes.
My first thought was, is this like animal porn at this point? Because I'm sure this is not right. But she accepted it and she took it.
Listen, we don't know if a werewolf has a human dick or not, and that was a real concern.
Peking Duck looked at me. He was like, "Yo, I get it. Why she's so accepting? She's a furry.
She's a furry.
I was like,
this whole time she's been a furry, and she just didn't have the outlet."
That was hilarious to me. Because he could have changed.
Yeah,
he could have just changed.
And when they woke up, he was human.
So like one thing that I noticed about the werewolf characters is when they're like emotionally like going through something, or like something happens that they're not that they're not used to, or just something different's going on. Sometimes they change into a werewolf, into their wolf form.
It's kind of like X-Men when they were young and trying to get their
so like I know he's older, but I don't think he's ever like fucked a person before or slept with the person like that.
He's a virgin.
Yeah, so this is probably why he was a werewolf the whole time. Like he was like in his emotions and like unable to turn back. But if he does turn back, he probably continue doing it not as a werewolf.
I think that's a safe bet.
I mean, maybe they do it as a werewolf because she likes it that way, but like I don't want to know about...
He seemed really detached from society.
Yeah.
So. And I assume she was a virgin too. So
yeah, I just assuming.
She seemed innocent.
Yeah.
She also seemed like, if your first time is with a werewolf, like every other time is not going to be an issue, I feel.
Yeah. And so as the story progresses, obviously they slept together and they started hanging out more. She started introducing him to more normal things that society brings in Tokyo, because it was Tokyo.
This whole time he was working with construction.
He was doing like heavy lifting.
I don't think it was construction. It was a moving company.
Oh, moving company.
Yeah,
he was doing a moving company thing, but at the very beginning, he wasn't driving the car. He was just like a person who like was in the other seat, and then afterwards, after that scene, he became the driver.
Right, because
he might have gone like up. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say they were probably.
I think he was driving the whole time. Actually.
He wasn't driving the first time. Because the first time he was just looking out the window.
Yeah, and then the guy was like getting in the car.
Was he on the right hand side or the left hand side? If he was on the right, he was driving.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Because I think he was looking out like to the right, which means like
if
he
that's
is
the
the
case,
driver.
maybe they were just in traffic.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
Because he said he got his license. He worked hard to get his license. After he got his license, he split. Like he left home.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think he was the driver at that point.
Okay. Well, his uniform kept changing, and I felt like they were trying to show us promotions.
Yeah, progression through the time.
Yeah, he was working hard.
And so
to keep his family safe.
Yeah. So once they started teaching each other different things, and they loved being together. Obviously, they moved in together. Obviously, she ended up pregnant, and
bro, I thought she got lycanthropy sickness at one point. I was like, oh my god, she got sick because she fucked a dog.
Something. Okay, so she's pregnant, so now we know where obviously the narrator is coming from, which is Yuki.
And adopted.
And just they show more character development into how they obviously he wanted a family.
And bro, they wanted family so much, like within the next 9 months they had another child.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was like, literally, like after she was born, they had she got pregnant again.
Yeah, here comes Ami, and I think at that point, once Yuki was born, I guess I can take it off to you now because now the middle comes, which is now the kids. And
Oh, okay.
so
When Yuki was born, Ame was born really closely afterwards, and the mom had to deal with the struggles of raising children who are also part wolves.
correct.
So when things were to go wrong with them,
That one
like if
part.
they get sick, or like they get into silica gel, she had to struggle of, do I bring her to a vet or do I bring her
To a
to
hospital.
a hospital?
That was
And
the best
instead,
scene.
She like, I'm glad that she decided to call both at a payphone in the middle of both of them. Like,
That was the best.
it's like, and then she just like asks the questions and figures out stuff from like the hospital, and then also stuff from the vet, and the vet is like, is your dog hungry? And then you just hear her burping, like, the fuck, kid.
But at this point,
Yeah.
then he died.
And not
Yeah,
oh
this
yeah,
was
he did.
after.
So you should probably mention.
Yeah, I thought that happened.
No,
after
because he
that.
was there for Yuki.
Yeah.
Because
Right, he
was
wasn't
holding
there
her.
for Ame.
Ame was being held
Yeah.
while Yuki was on the back.
Yeah.
So there was one point before that happened, because I forgot that was the scene that happened beforehand. I thought it was like right after. But the reason why she's doing all this by herself and she needs all those questions is because the dad was bringing home groceries one day, saw a pheasant, and then chased the pheasant inside the rain. And it's been like the family is just chilling, and she's wondering where he is. So he goes to check outside and sees all the grocery bags on the ground, and then notices that the wallet's in there. So she's like, she's thinking something weird's going on. So she goes to look for the father, which was named who? What was his name again?
Oh God.
We're not with him.
Wolfman.
We're not with him very long.
Yeah, we
Hosokawa?
don't see his name. We don't see his name pop up a lot.
Hosokawa, maybe? I don't know. But
Let's just call him Wolf Guy.
yeah,
So
but pause
Wolfman.
right there. Pause right there. I want to say something. At that point, I thought he couldn't handle this no more. He bounced.
Oh,
That's
you
my
thought he
initial
deserted.
thought. That's what it was.
Okay, you thought he deserted. Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I didn't think that. So I want to say something. Remember the first time he catches the pheasant and he makes her
Yeah,
dinner?
that shit was lit.
I was like, when he came back with feathers all over him, I was like, he is gonna die hunting something.
Yeah,
I was sitting there like, that is a terrible omen.
yeah, it was.
Disguised as a home cooked meal.
That was great.
Yeah, that was during her being pregnant with Yuki.
Yes.
She was like morning sickness and like.
Normal pregnancy stuff.
Bro, I forgot. Yuki decided, because again, she's having children with a werewolf. Like, she was like, let's not go to the hospital for this. I'm gonna have birth at home.
Oh yeah.
She researched at home births. She did all of that without having any anesthesia, and like by herself with a wolf man.
Natural.
Like, she did that twice.
Yeah. And that,
she's a fucking G. Anyway.
By the way, she is a book nerd. Like,
she is, yeah.
Straight up 100% book nerd.
Yeah, that's why the bookstore is where they met up at.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so what's it called? So he goes hunting for the pheasant that he sees because extra food, extra meat, always a good thing.
He's the
for
only
a
one
growing
working.
family.
They're struggling.
Yeah, so like their apartment's small, but like it's fine. So he goes hunting and then he slips inside the rain and falls into the river and dies. I'm assuming he hit his head or something because like that normally wouldn't kill a wolf like that, I feel. But like he probably had to have like been knocked unconscious or something along those lines to be drowning inside that river.
That was a deep fall.
Yeah, but like those types of things are where like kids in Japan do their test of courage and jump into the ocean, like jump into that river area, then swim back up. Like, so he is a big dog though, and those things are usually kind of shallow. That dog is like
Plus,
7-8 feet.
The people did stand in it to grab him out.
Yeah. It was like up to here.
Maybe it swells during rainfall.
Yeah. But either way, he drowned somehow.
Yeah.
And she sees it happen. She didn't see it happen. She sees the aftermath that the people are dragging the wolf. and then she sees them put him in a bag, which then she starts running over, and then tossing said bag into a trash compactor.
Oh, that was awful.
And then she's just standing there like, no, like, you don't hear any audible sound. The thing I liked about this thing is like they do really good sound design, in the sense of when this was happening, it was raining, and when the crazy like the really sad shit is happening, you hear the rain get harder, kind of like it intensifies the moment. Like you hear a small patter of rain, and then eventually you hear the small patter become loud and like thunderous, signifying like how intense the situation's getting. And then she's like struggling to try to get that that wolf corpse, and they just compact it in front of her.
By the way, that corpse was huge.
It was huge. It was like 7 or 8 feet.
Yeah.
It was like 7 or 8 feet. It was huge.
Yeah.
And then like they just toss it in the back, and it gets crushed. And you see, like that was the moment you see her. Like I know you're seeing it from behind, and it's just like drawings, but like you feel the heart break, and you're just like, damn. No funeral, no ashes, no ceremony. Just a crushed up wolf in the back of a truck. And
sad.
you know, I'm just glad during that scene that somebody came by and like put the thing over her, because like she was soaked as hell. The children are probably soaked. I'm just glad they're also wolves, because you know they're not gonna get sick that way. But
this woman goes through a lot in the rain.
yeah, no, a lot in the rain. It's just a theme for this movie. Like when it rains, bad shit's gonna happen.
Yeah. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
She was like John Cusack in one of his movies.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why, let's move past it. So like that happens, and she learns how to like take care of them for a while, and then she also should they move out of the city?
Because
the thing.
Yeah,
can we talk about the things leading up to why they move out of the city?
Yeah. Okay. Right. Listen, I'm just like there's just a lot of stuff that I really like about this movie I want to mention. So before they move out, since she's alone and like they don't know what happened to the husband, like child services being called at night, the kids are becoming wolves and like howling and causing a disturbance to the neighbors.
It's just Ame.
It
was just Ame.
Ame and Yuki were
Yuki,
howling.
Yuki would lead the wolf stuff, and then Ame would follow suit.
No,
and then Ame would just cry. Ame would just cry.
Crying? Yeah, it was
but that's the thing about newborn babies. Yeah. They're just young babies anyway. They'll cry, and it's a small apartment.
That neighbor was a douche.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
I mean,
it's a child.
Wouldn't you be cranky if a kid was right next door and kept crying?
Man, it's a kid though.
Night?
And like
it depends. If I'm friends with that neighbor and I know that neighbor, I won't be angry. But if this neighbor is like a dick, it'd be different.
Wolf children.
Yeah, like they're half human, half wolves. It's really nice. But like so one of the things so that's one of the things that contribute to them wanting to leave. Like the mother starts realizing like they're in the middle, they're in a part of their lives where they aren't really part of society. Like they're young kids and they want to be wolves, they want to be kids, they want to do both. But inside the city, it's hard for them to do that because they don't have the area to do so. They don't have the privacy to do so. And, you know, like, they basically lived in a room about the size of a regular, like, living room.
Mm-hmm.
And as a person who has a dog, who likes to go outside, like, I don't have one, but if you are a person who has a dog that likes to go outside, you'd like to have a bigger area for them to walk around and roam. So I think, thinking of it as, you know, I have to enrich their wolves selves and their human selves. I think it was a really good decision for her to move out of the country using the savings that they had. Plus, also,
which I want to talk about after you finish your thought.
The father worked really hard, and then died. But he was also smart because he put savings aside that was big enough for them to move into a country house that's that was really worn down. And probably not as expensive, not as expensive as other places, but really worn down and stuff. And, just able to live off of those savings for a while, which I think was really awesome.
That was my initial question. Like, how much money did he save?
Exactly. Like, it's enough to buy that house in the country, renovate the house using the savings. Because that house was shit. Like,
I think it was cheap because nobody will buy it.
Exactly. No, that's like the rent's almost zero is what they said.
Right,
so
right.
Like, but then she took the time and effort to fix it herself.
Yeah.
Which she did an immaculate job doing, and then I really love the part, like Sam mentioned it while we were watching it. Zombie was mentioning it while we were watching it, and like as she was cleaning up, she realized how beautiful the house was. Like she herself, like as she continued to do this, kind of started noticing that she didn't buy this like the house itself was really nice on top of it being really cheap. She was cleaning the sink and she noticed the design of the sink,
the little marble tile.
Yeah, all of it. Like it was just one of those moments where like you start appreciating the details, and then she did that as a character inside the movie too, and it's just really really cool. And then was your idea was the money thing, or is there something
that
else?
was my question.
Okay.
The money thing, like how much, I don't know how much he saved up,
because like
she wasn't working.
She was not working at all this whole time.
Yeah.
And then she still had money to buy food, and then she started farming. Like, you remember those scenes when she started farming?
Yeah, because she figured she's using up her savings a lot for food.
Oh yeah.
So it's because the guy mentioned, yeah, they used to farm there, but it's no good.
Yeah.
Just because the land is no good, whatever.
Yeah.
But she didn't listen. She was like,
fuck that.
Let's go. It.
I think one of my favorite characters inside the movie is that old man who comes by and is and teaches her how to plow land.
Mr. Narasaki.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Narasaki. It's fucking awesome in my opinion. Like all he did was come over and be like, hey, so like, I see you're trying to replow this. It's not gonna grow anything.
He was a dick.
He was a dick about it, but that's because he was like, he doesn't want to show outward that he's caring for the person, but then you also realize that like all the help that happened was because he told them to take care of her.
Yeah.
And the amount of stuff that those neighbors do is insane, because like he's when the three farmers when she first enters and she first moves in, all the farmers are talking about how they're gonna move away, like she's
not gonna make it.
She's not gonna make it, like just only her and the kids, like what happened to her husband, etc. He was the only one who stayed quiet and kind of like just looked over there and said nothing.
I didn't think he was gonna help.
Yeah, I thought when he was the only person not making fun of her for moving in there as like a single mom and stuff, I had a feeling that he would be doing something relevant, as in like helping them out by like dropping off food or something like that. I didn't expect him to be like, hey, training montage, we're making you a farmer.
Yeah. So by the way, her neighbors were all far away. She was so isolated, which is what she wanted for her kids.
I think it was like 2 miles away from each other.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I was like, that's insane, but that's perfect for her situation. Like, that lets the kids do whatever they want while they're there, and then when people are over, like, hi.
And because Mr. Narasaki wanted everybody to help her, they all drove to her.
Yeah.
They all like helped her out.
I love that old man.
Yeah.
He was so awesome.
And
he's like the stoic old man that's there to like help out, but like doesn't say anything.
A big chunk of the middle of the movie was her learning how to farm, how to take care of the house, the kids. That was majority of the middle of the movie. And she busted her ass doing all the farming.
Oh, 100%.
Like nonstop, and that was great.
Yeah, I also really appreciate like how many fields she made. Like, remember how she finished the first field?
Yeah.
And then he was like, now let's go plow another. And it's
like,
but we're only one family, it's just me and the kids. And he's like,
did you not hear me?
Did you not hear what I said? And then it was like, okay, why not? I thought it was like about 2 or 3 fields, but I think it's just 2, because the third one might have just been an imagination.
I think it was 2.
Like, I know for a fact there was 2.
Yeah.
Because you saw the 2. And it's like, and then he told, like, this all happened when the mother gifted them the seedling potatoes, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then
potatoes.
The potatoes, she was just gonna put them inside the ground, and he was like, "Are you like?" Shows up out of nowhere, like, "You're gonna waste these potatoes?"
He just dug them up again. Took them all out.
It's just like you fucked up.
Yeah.
Let me fix this, right?
It's like the soul's not ready.
The whole day from the beginning of the morning to like when the sun was setting, she was just plowing fields for this.
Yeah.
Like, I found that shit, like, this character is like a really good example of resiliency and not like facing adversity and then just charging through it.
Yeah, not only being a single mom, that's one thing, but being a single mom to wolf children.
Yeah, like
that
how problematic is that, bro? Like, so as that was going on, remember how like she was harvesting stuff and she did well and she had all those potatoes.
Yeah.
And then she was bringing it around. And everyone was like, "Oh man, thank you. Our harvest isn't doing well. There's wild boars digging around." At first,
Yeah.
I thought it was like the kids.
I
as
thought it was
wolves
Yumi.
coming by,
Yeah.
like doing shit.
Yeah.
But then I realized, right, they're wolves.
And they always play around outside.
And they play outside.
Yeah, they're
and
not going-
Like
Yeah.
they showed that Yuki just pees outside
Yeah.
because she's like, "I gotta pee," just runs out the back.
Yeah.
So that like. You
They
know,
sense it. The animal
They're
sense
marking,
wolves.
Yeah.
they mark their territory
Yeah.
around the house, so boars aren't going to go near.
It's like, that's a
wolves'
wolf den. Like,
Yeah.
let's not go.
Yeah. They were
And
like scarecrows.
She mentions it inside the part where she's outside playing for the first time. She's like, I'm gonna fight the animals. Like, when you bark and chase them, they run away. And like, even if you pee, like, they don't come by. And like, Ame's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go wolf because he's reading those children's books, and all the children's books have the wolves being bad characters.
No.
And which is why he decided to not ever be a wolf again when he was younger.
Right.
And then what's it called?
Then preschool hits.
Oh yeah. Then they want to go to school because like after all those kids come by, some of those kids that are the neighbors' kids, were going to school, and she starts talking about school, and then Yuki overhears and is like, "Hey, I want to go to school." And then that transitions into the next like arc of the story where it's like them
Yuki, like
going to
fitting
school,
in.
and then what happened to Ame in school, and what leads him to do other things.
So basically, Yuki becomes in the beginning she fits right in because she's just excited to be there. She gets along with the girls, but she's not a civilized like girl. She's more like a tomboy, country kind of. Yeah. So the girls are talking about jewelry and clothes. She's talking about dead snake, like dead bones and birds and like just.
They're collecting flowers. She's collecting a live
Bones
snake,
and stuff. Yeah.
It's
So
like, look, I found this. It's just wrapped around in her hand, like, bro.
she was like, I don't know, Mom. Every time I try and be friendly, they all run away and scream. That was her thing. She was kind of frustrated with that.
Yeah.
So her mom decides to make her a dress and told her, "I'll teach you how to be a girly girl, I guess."
Yeah.
And even though you'll hate it, well, she said it herself. Like, I was gonna be that, even though I hated it.
Because I want to fit in.
I want to fit in. Yeah.
The mom didn't say anything. Just made her the dress.
Yeah.
She did all that introspectively. She realizes herself that she didn't want to. She wanted to fit into human society because she liked having those friends.
Yeah.
But she was mad that like all the things that she was doing as a wolf wasn't really meshing in together with her interests as a human.
At that point and moment, she decided her path.
Was that after or before the Shuhei, and
Shohei.
Was that
Sohei.
after?
Sohei.
Was that after or before the Sohei? incident?
Before.
Because
Sohei.
Okay.
she does that thing with the dress on.
Guys, so I know where we are. So then Sohei. So after that, they have Christmas.
Yeah.
And during Christmas time was the turning point in the movie, where they started going their separate ways.
Where Ame joined school.
Where Ame, instead of wanting to be a wolf, is focusing on being a human.
By the way, I really
we have
love
to
that.
talk about Ame's school thing because we didn't talk about Yuki's school.
I thought
thing.
Christmas came then the.
Because Ame was in school as well. And this stuff happened
So while
in 4th grade or 5th grade or something.
When he was being bullied.
Oh, this Yuki did all that stuff in 5th grade.
In
Like
the transition they did, how they went left to right.
Yeah.
Right.
Left to right.
That
was brilliant.
Yeah,
that was
I love
and
it.
you notice what they're doing by talking about like the descriptor before the grade. Like it was very lonely 4th grade. I was like, Ame, no.
Yeah. So Ame started following like the path of his dad. He started like
distancing himself
from
civilization.
society.
Yeah. He was emo.
Yeah, and he didn't like people, but he liked animals. And then Christmas came, because I know he didn't stop going to school until after Christmas.
At this point, she got a job at the sanctuary.
She didn't he would not go to school a lot. Like he'd go in and out, and sometimes he'll be there, sometimes he won't. But then like he, it depends on his mood probably. But,
Right.
like it was a decision to make at that moment. Like he still went to school sometimes, and sometimes he didn't. So he'd be with the mom for a lot of the scenes.
Right.
And then,
So then the mom applied for a job as a park ranger.
Sanctuary bond or
yeah,
something.
it was a park. She went to the park ranger place, and then
She
she
met the wolf.
Because he read about it in a pamphlet.
Yeah.
And it said Wolf, now in the sanctuary nearby. That's why she went to the sanctuary.
Right, and she got a job there.
Yeah.
And, she found out the wolf wasn't a wild wolf. It was
a captive
wolf. But he still visited that wolf every day.
Yeah, that's what Ame kind of like realized. Because I guess he needed a father figure.
Yeah.
And Yuki needed a mother figure, which was there for her.
Right.
But also because she was like the tomboy. Like she was very strong and very open and brave. Right. He was the opposite. Like he was not weak, but he was more like timid, shy.
Yeah, he was very reserved. Yeah. And I think for Ame, one of the stuff that really brought him into going into the wolf path is like again, all the books that he read about wolves being mean and stuff.
The bad guy.
Like he knows that he is a wolf, so it's not like he's reading it and is an aspect of him that's bad. He thinks he himself is bad, and from that he starts like being reserved and like staying to himself and thinking about like what does he want. I guess that's when he realizes that like, why should I be mad about this, and like why are the people always the ones doing these things to the wolf? And then I think at that point he just wants to focus on being animal stuff, because like he's always at home, he's always going to do animal things and like
right. So then we have the Christmas scene,
chasing in the snow,
where they're playing in the snow, and again them running as wolves. We get to see first person view. Awesome.
Those are always
love those scenes. Ame says for the first time he felt like a wolf. Mm-hmm. It was different. He wasn't scared. He felt brave, and he felt like he could do anything.
The pheasant.
Oh, because he caught that pheasant.
Yeah. So he's chasing the pheasant, and
call back to Dad.
Now this is where we think we know what happened to the dad, because Ame slips in the river, chasing a pheasant just like the dad.
He stepped on his scarf.
Yeah, he stepped on his scarf, and then he hit his head.
Eventually in the river.
And then he started drowning.
Yeah.
But when you notice when he starts drowning, he reverts back to a human, which is interesting.
Because how did that happen to the dad?
Why didn't that happen to the dad?
Yeah. That's what I meant to say.
Huh. Good point.
Because like he got knocked out, but he, you know what? Maybe since he got knocked out, like he went unconscious. He reverted back, but maybe he died as a wolf. Like
maybe it was a quick hit to the head.
Maybe. I think my theory is that the dad was raised as a wolf, whereas the kids were raised as humans.
I mean, but like, wasn't he? Like, I remember the dad saying he was raised with his family, right, and then moved over to his grandparents who don't know anything about it. Right,
but his before his family died, he said he was raised with his family for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think his natural feeling good about himself is a wolf, not a human.
No, that's fair.
Whereas Ame, up until this point,
was the opposite. He
was just raised as a human, so I think he felt comfortable as a human, so it's almost his default. Whereas the dad's default was
came of age, right?
Yeah,
yeah, because you're talking about 10 years old as an adult for a wolf.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So at this point, we see Ame revert back to a human, and he's drowning, and you just see the mother running in the snow, running through the woods looking for him. Unlike the dad, though, there was another wolf there to save Ame.
Yeah,
the sister runs into the river.
Yuki jumps in.
I think for Yuki that was also a defining moment, because after that she really didn't turn into a wolf again.
Yeah, and it's I feel like Yuki always knows
one at a time. After that, one more time.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Yuki always knew how strong the wolf form is.
Yeah,
but I think she was just like, I don't want to be a wolf. I want to be a human.
And then that's when Ame became
more and more
brave. He lost his timidness. I
want to talk about that next scene.
Yeah. But did you guys notice his skin color went from a pale blue, and then you slowly see the life, the color.
Yeah, he's going from depressed to confident.
And also, I thought he was dead and
Oh,
because he was like,
I thought
pale.
he was just cold.
Yeah.
Like,
That's.
And then
that's
all of a
what
sudden,
happens.
like, why are you crying? Or no, he didn't say why you crying.
Like the
I
mom
caught the
was like,
peasant or I caught something.
he started describing
yeah,
how
what
it felt
happened.
to chase the.
Right. That's
To
what
chase
it was
the
really nice.
And then he went from pale blue to a regular.
Yeah, it was a really good
Good
transition.
scene.
Yeah.
Good scene.
So then they're at the house. They're all warming up. They've got like clothes and like a fire. They have like coffee in front or something, like tea or whatever. And Ame's just sitting there. He's like, I'm not going back to school.
Oh, and she was doing homework. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and Yuki goes, "What are you talking
This
about?"
is like this is in the future a little bit longer. Like that's not in like in the scene like that stuff happens, and then this is a separate time where she's just doing homework and she's in school clothes and
it's
stuff
the
like
next scene.
Yeah.
So I think it's like before they go back to school from winter break.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm assuming that too because she's working on stuff, but I don't know if she coming back to school yet.
Yeah.
Like it was definitely the transition to it.
Yeah.
I think that's where he chose his path.
Yeah. So then Ame is like, I'm not going back to school. And Yuki gets really upset over this. She goes,
human life.
yeah, she goes, what do you mean you're not going back to school? And he's like, I want to be a wolf. I'm a wolf. Not going back to school.
But then they both turn into a wolf.
Yeah, they get into
and they mess up the house. I was so mad.
when they got into a huge argument and turned into wolves and started fighting each other.
All over the house.
All over the house. The house is getting wrecked. Mark and I were getting upset. We were like, do you not appreciate your mother? Do you know?
Mom's just sitting there like, kids, relax. Like,
And she tries to pull them apart, but she can't.
No, she can't.
She straight up a person trying to pull apart.
I'm glad she didn't get hurt.
If one of those bastard children
Yeah.
hurt the mom,
You just
it'd be a
see
different story.
the fight barely stops by Yuki slipping away.
Yeah.
Because
going to
Ame
the
was,
bath.
I feel like Ame was gonna kill her.
Oh yeah,
Like if they
you
didn't,
saw,
yeah.
you saw,
She runs in the bath, locks the door, and you just see Ame with like red eyes, like
and like
Feral.
a scar
He
on
looked
his
feral.
yeah.
face.
He was like, "What did I just do?"
Oh, he's a badass.
He was like,
yeah.
I guess I'm really a wolf." Like
Yeah.
And then she was in the bathtub of shame.
the bathtub of shame.
She has scratches on her body.
Yeah.
The loser bathtub.
Yeah, the loser.
Baths
tub.
are for losers, apparently.
Baths are for losers.
And at that point, spring comes along.
Yeah.
And another major
Incident.
incident happens. There's a new kid in town.
Sohei.
Sohei.
Such a
And,
The
protagonist name.
the tanned bastard child of a rich
And-
lady.
and just the way he speaks and everything, he just sounds like a douchebag.
He's like overconfident and like
And then he knows Yuki, who is just in awe by looking at him. Like, I don't know, she had a crush.
He straight up has a crush on her. Like watching the scenes, like he cared about Yuki too much.
Well,
Way
so
too
like,
much.
So like,
Yeah.
right when he's being introduced, he's like, "Do you have a dog?"
Yeah,
And then from there, she was trying to avoid him
yeah,
because she didn't know how to explain the dog smell.
yeah. Because she's a dog.
And then because he was being rejected by her,
Got intrigued.
he was like, "Wait, I like you because you're not like the rest of these floozies."
He's like, let me in.
Yeah.
Let me in.
He's like, "I want to know you."
To a point where like she ran a lot throughout the school. She got cornered outside.
Yeah,
And then he found her and like, why are you running?
like
He didn't say, do you not like me? But he was more
Yeah,
that's
he
how he
just-
was treating her.
He was
like,
confused.
Yeah.
he wanted to know why,
And
and
then-
like
to a point
that-
where he grabbed her
for-
hands. Like,
yeah,
like why? Why are you doing this?
because like
It
as
was like a
kid,
theme in this movie. Like
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
grab.
things really
Yeah,
a lot.
I was not.
I didn't
thrilled.
understand him. And like this kid is like just touching a girl like all over her. Like, and then of course,
I'm not trying to like what's it called defend it at all. I'm just like
For the time period.
not even for the time period. It's like just when you're a kid and you don't know what's going on, you just do the thing that in your
Random
head is
shit.
the best idea. And I think for him, the best idea is like don't let her get away, so you can actually find out. So grabbing her hand so she can't run is a thing, but like that's very rapey.
very,
Like it's a very rapey situation.
very thin
like,
line right there.
Yeah.
And you know, like any other mammal gets cornered and you have to defend yourself.
Yeah.
You
beat the shit out of the
beat the
person.
shit. So
So-
she turned into a wolf and
Cut the bitch,
his
Yo,
ear.
she cut his ear
bro.
so
like,
bad.
it was nice. It was a nice thing.
So that next scene coming up, I thought I didn't like Suhei, but Mark thought it was like a good sentiment, and I just took it the wrong way, I guess. Reno when they're in the principal's office, and they're sitting there like, your daughter hurt my son. What are we doing about this? Are you gonna pay for everything?
For his medical bills, even though the teacher was like, the school's insurance is gonna cover it. Nah, fam. Where's my money?
She was like, are you gonna sell your house? Because that's what you should do.
We're gonna sue you to the ground.
Yeah.
She's one of those.
And then Sohei was like, a wolf did it.
Yeah, you just see the mom like.
It's like, well, what are you talking about?
The mom's just like, huh?
And then for me, that was a sentiment in which because he definitely saw her turn into a wolf and do it. Right.
Yeah. He also realized he was in the bad.
Yeah, that's what I was like. That's why that's when I realized like Sohei is a dick, but he's not as big of a dick, because he saw this and he did like the subtlest hint drop to the mom who was apologizing at that point to the other mom, to Hara. He was like, a wolf did it, and then you realize like
her eyes just like
she's like, shit, he knows. But he could have definitely said that she turned into a wolf and got like a whole bunch of shit on there, but like obviously no one's gonna believe him.
Yeah.
So he just says wolf, and the only thing that for me supports the fact that he knew and that he was not being a dick about it was he started going over to their house all the time after she just decided not to go back.
Yeah.
He came over every day, dropping food, leaving homework, like being like a genuinely good person for that moment.
Bus
it's
miles
like
just to get
this was for him, his character like development. Like he stopped being a dick and realized that like he has problems, but she also has problems because she's a wolf. Like he never asked why she smells like a dog anymore.
Yeah, she got used to it.
He's just like, oh well, fuck. I guess I know why she smells like dog.
And so this is her getting even more closer to society now that she has like a love interest that's a human.
Mm-hmm.
And then at this time, when Ame is home, he begins leaving the house, and the mom's like, "Where are you going?" And Ame is like, "Oh, I'm going to hang out with Sensei."
Which one? Who?
Yeah, so she goes to talk
up the mountain.
So she goes to talk to her neighbors about it. She's like, "Does anyone live up there?" Like,
yeah, like does anyone like have a house up there? Like, no.
Because my son says he keeps going to see Sensei. I don't know what this means.
And what he said was that he's teaching him. He's learning a lot from Sensei.
Yeah, about the forest.
About this and that, and like. So it's like, dude, it's a guy. I threw my head, it's a guy.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was a dude. And then when that happened, like, oh, there's one listener was like, it's a fucking animal.
I was sitting there like, he said Sensei. I thought he broke the wolf out of the cage from the sanctuary, and I was like, bruh. That's what I thought.
Please don't do that.
And then he goes to introduce the mom to the Sensei, and it's a fox in like. On top of a huge tree.
He doesn't really meet with humans, but if it's you, it should be fine.
Yeah.
He was the king of that area. Like, he was the man.
Yeah.
And at first, I thought it was going to be a wolf. It should be a wolf. But it's not.
But then wolves in Japan are very, like, scarce.
Apparently, they're
so that makes sense.
The
there was wolves way back when, and then they got hunted to shit, and now they're gone.
Yeah. That's what the theme of the movie...
No, but, like, that's history.
Yeah.
Like, for Japan, like, they don't actually have a lot of wolves or have much wolves at all in Japan anymore.
Okay.
Extinct, though.
Yeah.
So, when I saw that, I was like, oh, well, this makes sense. And I'm sure he's teaching him how to hunt, how to... become a better predator, and
like the montage was very akin to the Hakuna Matata music like video where like they're going around showing him what to do, what to eat, but instead it's him with the fox running around and like exploring the forest and seeing the various fauna. It
kind of reminded me of Avatar.
Yeah,
where she was teaching him how to do this.
Yeah.
All those scenes where like you're connecting with nature, which is what solidifies him. I think
taking that path of being the wolf,
and
like
then,
meeting that fox.
Yeah.
And then after we go through this journey with Ame, we go back to the family. I like how the movie consistently goes from child, family check-in, child, family check-in, child, family. I really like it.
And the first half of the movie was just Yuki. Oh, it was Hana and like the dad.
Yeah.
And their story was basically like, now it's about children. It is about the children.
Because the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Wolf Children.
So then we're at this part where there's a bad rainstorm.
Oh, there's
yeah.
like the big climate.
Like it
too.
starts raining a lot, and then Ame comes back really sad. Like Sensei's leg is hurt.
Well, before that, the school is being shut down.
Yeah.
Actually, before that, wait. Sensei's leg gets hurt.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm gonna have to go, and then
she begs him to not.
She was like, "Yeah, no, you just don't go near that mountain."
Yeah. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, she's like, "You don't." So then the following day,
wait, before that, during that scene where he's like begging him to stay. At one point it just says, "Please don't go," but she says "Okasan," which is like mom. So it's one of those moments where like the translation says "Please don't go," but like the direct translation probably is along the lines of like, "Please don't go. Your mom's asking you to."
Right.
Asking you to stay, and then he stays because he loves his mom still.
Yeah.
Like he appreciates all that she's doing, but he's also
what she's done. Like it's crazy what she's done.
Yeah.
Legit, like she deserves a medal. She deserves like you've done your job. Just relax now.
It's like Mom of the Year. Right? Like,
that's crazy. Yeah.
So then you have this rainstorm, and Am's just looking at Yuki, and he's like, "Yo, you should stay with Mom today." And I feel like if she stayed home, he would have been out like a light. Like he would have been gone, because then he knew the mom would have had Yuki to cry with.
Yeah.
Right.
But she doesn't. She goes to school.
Right.
School gets closed early. So and the whole day the mom is clinging to because she knows he's trying to be out.
Yeah. It's one of those moments where like the mom is afraid to let them leave because she got traumatized with the whole Ame falling into the river thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because she said her heart stopped for the first and last.
She had to make sure that they were like, before she was really open for them, just doing all the wolf stuff all the time, no problem, right? But after that, she became a little bit more overprotective. Like she still let Ame go and do things, but like as long as he came back, it was fine. Like she knew that he would come back.
Right.
The idea of him not coming back, she probably got all of those anxieties of like, what if my child goes and does something, gets hurt? I won't be there for them because they're away from me.
Right.
And so she wanted to keep him around. And that, for me, is like a very like real situation of like, if your child goes away, or like goes, like say you just enrolled your child for summer camp, a lot of the time the child has issues because they're like, it's their first time leaving. But on the other end of it, it's also like the parents having the issue of like, this is the first time that my children are going away from me, and I can't do anything if something happens.
Not only summer camp, like also school. Same thing.
Yeah, school too. Yeah. It's like a period of time in which they have no control over their children.
Yeah, and at that point, you could go to school, and the school is class ends early, and he says everybody go to the auditorium, and we're all calling your parents so they can come pick you up. At this point, it's not rain anymore. At this point, it's like a fucking.
It's like a sheet of water.
I forget what it's called. It's like
it's a flood, but it's like it's not a tsunami.
Tundra.
A tundra. No, tundra is it's a typhoon.
Well, it was bad.
It was a storm. It was a storm.
Yeah, it was bad.
There was a lot of water.
As the mom's getting ready to go pick up Yuki, left. He's like walking out the front door as she's like, "Ame, we're gonna go pick up your sister. Where are you?" Like, and she sees him walking out. Mm-hmm. She starts chasing Ame.
And she had a decision to make.
Yeah.
Pick up Yuki or go after Ame.
Yeah.
And she was like, I feel more bad. I almost lost Ame. I can't lose him again.
Yeah.
So that's why she chose him.
She probably had the idea that like Yuki's at school.
Yeah.
So if anything happened, she's in a building that has food and shelter,
and
while Ame is walking out in the storm.
She's like, if I let Ame go, he will never.
Monsoon.
Thank you. Yeah. She's like, if I let.
She's at work. Shout out to Lady Island.
Hey, EJ, what's up? Yeah,
you should watch it, but we're spoiling a lot of stuff because it's a full discussion.
EJ, it's a really good movie, though.
You will cry.
And so basically, the mom goes after Ame. Ame because when she saw him at the door, like almost out of her, the gap is not that big.
Right.
Yeah,
But by the time she hits that door,
he's down the street.
out. I'm like,
he's
what the
like,
hell?
peace.
He's using his wolf speed, I'm assuming. Like,
But it's a human form? Like,
Well, remember, maybe he's half,
you know,
half wolf, half human.
Yeah,
He's
you know
walking
how
out.
they
I
can
don't know.
transition to be like upright but not fully wolf yet?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he learned through like proper control of his shit
I
that
don't know. There
he
were no
can
ears.
walk real quick.
There were-
Well, actually, we couldn't see the top of his head. We just saw the back of his head.
Shoot.
But remember, you don't like. Sometimes they don't grow. They don't have to grow those ears. He can transition however he wants.
Yeah, so I'm
really.
saying it's not far fetched
Yeah.
that he could pick up the pace.
Yeah.
So Lady Island, there's a lot of crying. Like the movie,
No crying.
there's a lot of points in the movie, like at least 4 that you will cry at. I swear.
I teared up. You know, I've watched this movie a couple times though, so I didn't go hard like cry, but
So the reason why you get an emotional reaction and crying or watery eyes is because you can relate to what she went through, the mom.
Yeah, you
and
really can.
like for any single mother going through these issues of raising 1 or 2 kids by themselves.
Yeah.
But it's just the added fact that they're wolves.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
also,
ridiculous. Like that's just insane.
everyone in this movie is relatable. Like the sister Yuki is relatable. Ame is relatable, even though they're going through things that not everyone goes through because they're wolves.
Yeah.
But like the situations and like the themes that they're going through are all things that everyone has to deal with. Yuki faces rejection from society.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense of like her interests don't collide with everyone, but the way she does it is she changes herself to fit into society, and then
Ame
Ame
being
had,
rejected by society again.
yeah,
and,
because it's more like he I don't know if he made friends because he didn't make friends. He was very solitary.
right, and we
He
saw him get
isolated
bullied.
himself.
he did
Yeah.
isolate himself.
He was bullied,
Yeah, we saw
and then
that.
Yuki helped him from being bullied, probably because of the smell too. Like I swear.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, you smell like dog, and he's probably like, whatever, man. And Yuki's
Yeah.
like, bitch, I'll cut your ear.
Bye, EJ.
Peace.
So yeah, so at this point they transitioned from her mom chasing him to Yuki's situation where they're in school. All the kids are being picked up by their parents. And it's just left to like a couple, her, Sohei, and 2 little ones.
And then they get called
Yes.
to get out because the people are like, okay, everyone who isn't gone yet. School bus, let's go.
Yeah. See, Sohei decided to go back to class to get cards because he wanted to play cards with the kids. And then Yuki realized he's not back yet, so she bounces after him.
The
And
there
reason
was
why
a
he didn't come
thing,
back,
yeah.
the reason why he didn't come back was
He heard the her friend. He heard Yuki's
friend's dad comes by,
offer Yuki a ride,
and then he just bolts.
he's like, I guess I'm not spending time with Bae.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, fuck those 2 kids that we were, chilling with,
Yeah.
trying to make good.
Yeah.
Fuck, make feel good. Like, whatever, fuck them. They don't matter.
But it doesn't show that they hooked up.
No, but
No.
they had a heart to heart.
Yeah, and that
I wonder if they were though.
they might.
I mean, they were in middle school. I mean,
It could be, right?
I'm not gonna say. I don't think that they had relations like that. But
Yeah,
they definitely had a heart to heart about, because they definitely did. Like that scene with the window, like they had the biggest heart to heart.
That shot was so good.
yeah.
The curtains flowing and then the transitioning of her to
Like
wolf.
you saw like the shadows.
Yeah. Oh,
and-
so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
She decided to show him while they were upstairs in the classroom.
She was like, that wolf that attacked you
Yeah.
X amount of years
That was-
ago.
that
That
was
was
me."
me.
Because I knew it all along.
And she shows him.
And so the way they showed it was that she was looking out the window with the windows open because she opened the windows.
Yeah.
And the curtains were flapping. And as the current goes in and out,
She really knew how to set up a mood there.
yeah,
Bro, that was
the transition was when the current went in, her ears popped, the curtains
Came
went
out.
out, and now you see her wolf form, and I'm like, oh, it's perfect. That's beautiful.
this movie took its time with every piece of music, every transition, every
when the music swells, like your emotions swell, and it's really good.
Yeah. So that was their little heart to heart, kind of closing to their relationship because now she decided to show him everything.
And like
Even
from
if they,
there,
yeah.
we assume that they're gonna like be together.
And if they are
Yeah.
not gonna be together, at least they're gonna be good friends.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he said, I'll tell nobody. I will not
Right.
tell anybody.
And then we go back to Ame, the troublemaker.
I just wait before we go back to Ame, because there's a lot to unpack with Ame.
yeah.
So hey, you realize also has a really shitty situation at home.
Oh,
Yeah,
the mom
because like
remarries.
his mom remarried, has a new child, and she was literally like, "I don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
You're a piece of like, you're disposable," which is why she never came by to pick him up.
Yeah.
I'm imagining, yeah.
And so like Soy has to deal with that. Is like, what am I gonna do? You know, I'm probably just gonna go get a job and become like a fighter or some sort.
Oh yeah, he chose his path right there.
Yeah, he chose his path. I forgot what he decided.
He wanted to be a boxer or
He wants to
something.
be a boxer, a
boxer.
wrestler, or deliver paper.
Like,
Yeah.
just
some
like,
he's gonna
get
make
money.
it work.
Yeah.
He's basically gonna move out and become his own person. Because like in Japan, like middle school, I think is optional.
Oh.
Like,
and again, no father figure. It was just his mom, and so
he had decided himself like what he's gonna do, and he decided to do that.
And I think she kind of like related to that.
Or is it middle school that's mandatory, and then high school is?
I think high school's mandatory.
I mean,
optional.
Optional.
Yeah.
Ame decided not to go to elementary school. He was like,
but,
I'm done.
But Ame is also a wolf, and he matured wolf-wise, not human-wise.
That's true.
But he's gonna be the best damn wolf he can be.
We're running a little low on time.
All right, so
Okay,
now we could transition to the end.
Ame, so we go back to the mom chasing Ame through the forest.
Ame!
She goes through the whole
Forest.
forest in rain boots and a coat.
And this
that
lady,
had to take
hours.
I want to say days. Like I know it wasn't, but like
It was
damn,
all one day.
that was a lot of forest to cover.
Well, you know she has the stamina to do so. She's
Yeah.
a single parent who farms.
So she slips on a mountain and
Falls.
falls down the mountain.
Bro,
And as she's passing out, we see something come over her.
it was a bear.
And she
Yeah.
wakes up, and we get to see again.
Yeah.
And we see her in a parking lot as Ame is walking away. But this is the first time we see Ame as a wolf since he got into that fight
Yeah.
with Yuki. And he is a full
He's a
grown
big ass wolf.
10-year-old wolf.
He's a big boy. And she's just like, please don't go. And he runs up the mountain. And as he's running up the mountain, she goes from sad to happy because, you know,
Yeah.
that's her thing.
Well, she was still worried until she made it all the way to the
yeah,
top of the
and
mine.
he's just like looking at her down.
And he
And
just
awoo.
howled
And he awooed.
a manly howl.
And she's like just smiling. She's like,
Big
okay.
awoo.
Oh, sorry. You skipped the part where she had the vision.
Big awoo memories. But a big, yeah.
Oh yeah.
When she
That's
was
how
knocked
she
the fuck
realized.
out.
That's how
Yeah.
she realized that it's okay for him to go.
Yeah, because she had the vision of the
The
dad.
dad, yeah.
And the dad was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Ame's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he chose his
You did a
path.
good, like the thing that got me like in the heart was like, you did a good job raising them. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I hope she's not dead.
Yeah.
I thought she died. I was like, bro, and then she was like, wait, I can't leave. I still gotta raise them.
Yeah, because that reminded me of like the movie Gladiator, because he was touching the fields,
Right.
Yeah.
which just means like he's dying.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit, she's dying.
This is the second. We forgot to mention the first time she did that. Like the day the father
day-
died,
Yeah.
and she decided to keep smiling and go through everything and move.
Yeah.
She had a vision that was the father like
Raise
talking
the
to
kids.
her like
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the dad told her like, I've been watching over you this whole time.
the
Yeah.
whole time.
So it was like, oh fuck, that hit me. Like,
Yeah, it's good.
it hit me hard.
Did some good shit.
And then she woke up. Then she saw, obviously,
We also forgot the bear scene.
Yeah, the bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
touched
She's
about
in
it
the
a little
forest.
bit.
She's like, Ame, is that you? Walks up. It's a full ass bear, and she's like,
the
oh
She's
shit.
like, oh, I'm gonna die. And then
cubs.
the
Cubs.
Cubs show up and they all leave, and she's like, oh, wow.
And then she continues. Like I was
Yeah.
like, bro, like 90% of people I know once they see a bear will shit themselves and run, and she's
Yeah.
just like,
She's just
I'm gonna
paralyzed.
just stay here.
She's
Because
paralyzed.
she's a park ranger, she
Yeah,
knows. But
but
then, like,
her-
she continued afterwards.
Yeah. Her in the parking lot letting Ame go was just so.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was cathartic.
Yeah.
Like, it was sad, but it was a good sad.
Yeah.
Like, the ones where, like, after a good cry, you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Not only
GG.
that, okay, that scene's over. Now they go back to her. Okay, let him go, and then comes Yuki's part where she left.
Yeah.
Because she graduated, now she's going to the next part.
Yeah, she's
and
moving. She's
moving
going to
into,
middle school.
to
it's
a
like
dorm.
boarding
She's moving to
school.
a dorm.
Yeah, so leaving
Yeah.
the mom home alone
Home alone. I'm like, oh.
on
God.
that mountain, farming for herself, taking care of herself.
Who's gonna leave your
I
mother?
was like, how dare you leave your mother like this?
And I was hoping at point someone just shows up at her door, like a 40-year-old man, single, kiss laugh.
Yeah, someone to give her company, but you know that village is gonna keep her company.
Yeah, she has a community.
Yeah, she has. If anything, she might start like a daycare business. Like I swear, she could do that. Look how well she raised a wolf and a human.
She easily gets a single parent award.
But yeah, definitely. Bro. But there was no sensei after that. After his leg being broken.
The sensei died.
No, the sensei died.
But didn't even say it. Nobody said it.
Well, no. When he was there, he says
he doesn't have
sensei's leg is broken. He's probably gonna die.
He said die?
Yeah. And someone needs to do his job.
Someone needs to take over for him.
I heard that part. Yeah. So that's what he was doing. He's actually taking over for Sensei.
Yeah.
And
which,
he is.
He is like said. You got angry about this, about how Ame visits the mom.
Yeah. I was like, he better visit his mother. And in the middle, like as we're getting close to the end credit scene, you hear the woo in the distance.
And she's like.
Okay. She just smiles, and
I
looked at Mark, and I was like, "That's the visit. That was him visiting mom."
I was like, not even like go inside, get some coffee. Like, hey, Ma, like that. Those snakes, man, they're mean.
she just gets.
The bears have issues again. Someone's in their territory.
But she accepted it. She knew. Okay, she's like, okay, I know he's okay.
Yeah, I was
honestly though, if he ever I want him to come by at least once every couple years, like as a human, just to like chill and then leave.
Look at man, but he'll be like 20 years old now.
Yeah. So let's do
wrap it up with our
scores.
Okay. You go first.
I'll go last.
Oh, you always go last.
Yeah.
I'll go first. You
go first. I'll go first, and then you go second.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So
what are the main criteria for this time? Because there's a lot to unpack. Art, music,
story
overall.
Okay.
All right. So animation, design, art. I would say it was. You heard me in the beginning. It was amazing. Yeah. I was like just appreciating every little thing they were doing in the background, details, little subtle things, the animation itself. Out of 5, I would give it a 5 for the art. 5 out of 5.
Facts.
Story. Yes, this story has been told before about a single mom raising children, but
never wolf children.
But then they added a twist about being wolves, and I never thought about it. Like, yeah, it's probably gonna be hard because in the city, this and that, that's being accepted, and the way they took the story into the the farm and just being isolated, like it just made a good story for me. Like it was very touching. Like there's so many things you connect with in this movie, and yes, it's a tearjerker because you can't connect, and they did such a great job with all the characters, and you just fell in love with them. So storyline, I would say I was just pissed off in the ending, so I would say 4 out of 5 because I just didn't like Ame being a dick and just leaving. Like just
leaving his
mother. Yuki, I get because Yuki did everything right to be a human path, like the human path. But he was more like, I just want to be wild and go out there, be myself. I get it, but I just didn't like the connection at the end. So 4 out of 5 for me for that, just because of the ending. But overall, music.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job with the sound editing. They put a lot of hard work into that, along with the great animation. So it was great. I would say music 5 out of 5. Overall, also the sound effects. The sound effects were great. Like the subtle sound effects they have, like raindrops and like little like the bag full, like crunching up, stuff like that. Like it was just great. Overall, just because of that 1 star, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 just because it just a great movie.
Knocks out.
I just want to say for the art, this movie came out in 2012.
It was ahead of time.
Right? It was ahead of its time. You saw how quick I responded. He was like, that's fucking beautiful.
What's 2012? It's relevant now.
Alright.
So, for me, the art was phenomenal. When we first started watching it, I was looking at the backgrounds, like, some of these looked like photos, but it's not photos, and it's straight up, it's just really good. And, like, again, it's just phenomenal. The level of detail that you have in it. Some scenes look watercolored, and watercoloring is like insanely hard, in my opinion. And like that shit like got me breathless just looking at backgrounds. Like every background that I see in this movie, I like paid attention to and like look for details of stuff because of how well drawn it is. The characters themselves reminded me of Digimon, because just the art style of it, and like that gave me a nostalgic feeling, which for me like helped make me connect to this movie a little bit more. And like just the way they decided to represent certain things in the art, like in the character designs, etc., I think is really awesome. Like the transition from Yuki's orange dress to the blue dress, I think that was like a really cool way to transition her character by changing her character design, and I really enjoyed it. So for me, the art's gonna be a solid like 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. Like I really enjoyed it a lot, including like all like the subtle details that you mentioned before, Zombie, like when they're coming forward, the faces being drawn and shit. Like it's just so nice, and the level of precision on all the stuff that they're doing is just on point. For the music design and the sound design, like it's again amazing. Like every moment where like they knew exactly what things to play to make you feel certain ways. Like the sense of dread for during the part where the wolf gets put into that truck, like the sound of the raindrops hitting harder and kind of like blurring and white noise, like the sense of dissonance from that is just really good. And like just everything that happens inside the movie, there's a really good accompanying soundtrack to it that lets you like just enjoy and like immerse yourself into the moment. So sound design 1,000%, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. Like it's amazing. For me, the story is really really well done. Like the fact that they started off with a person who's going to college, who has ideas of what they want to do in the future, but no real solid plan. Meeting up with that wolf guy, getting together, living a life, finally finding their dream, and tragedy striking, and then she still continues to raise those children, have a fun like struggle her best to keep those children happy, and at the end of the day, in my honest opinion, she succeeded because both of them found happiness in whatever they wanted to do. He became a wolf and visits the mom, piece of shit, but he's if she wanted to go look for him, like she could just probably walk out in there and probably find him inside that tree area, because that's like the main base of operations for them. Like that's where he met the wolf. So if she were to come out over there, she could probably see him no problem. In all honesty. So thinking about it now, like it sucks that she doesn't go there physically, but she can make that like long ass walk to go visit Ame. Because I swear to God, if she goes there and Ame doesn't show up, I'm beating the shit out of this wolf. Like I'm finding a lead pipe. But yeah, and then Yumi becoming like deciding to stay human and go to school and mature that way, which is gonna take longer, obviously, because a human compared to a wolf, like 10 years old is an adult for a wolf, but 10 years old inside, like as a human, you're still a kid.
Yeah.
You're not even a tween yet.
Yeah.
So like she still has to raise her. Like even though she's far away, like she's definitely gonna be taking calls and dealing with boy troubles and shit like that.
Yeah.
The rest of her life probably, but like, she did a really good job in this movie showing her journey as a mom and moving to full maturity for both children is like spot on. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Like this movie for me is 100% like a really good movie from beginning to end. I did not have any moments where I did not enjoy the movie. So, really good.
Yeah. Art was incredible. When she goes to give him the slip, like, hey, you'll be marked absent if you don't fill it out.
Bro.
And like we can look behind him and see the details on the posters and read the words on the poster. I was like, I love the details.
I wish I could read kanji.
I was like, the details are perfect. I loved from that moment. I was like, this is gonna be a well designed movie. I easily give the art a 10 out of 10. The music was beautiful. Every time there was a montage, and there were a lot of montages, the music really captured like what they were going through and how they resolved it. And the montage where she's fixing up the house was breathtaking. As she's cleaning everything, she's noticing the fine details of the house and how pretty it really is, like, as long as you put hard work into it. And, so music's 10 out of 10. The story's, like, message really got to me. Like, you can get through any hard time if you face it with a smile. And I really liked that message.
We never talked about him talking to her about the name.
Yeah, we touched it. There's a lot to touch on this movie, and it's just that message alone is I try to use that message every day when I'm aggravated or I have a lot going on. I just try to like face it with a smile, like just figure it out and move on. Like no point in dwelling on things, just get it done. And I really connected with that message. So for the story, I give it a 10 out of 10. So
whoops.
Oh man, guess you know where this is going. So for my overall,
1 out of 5.
I 0 out of 10.
Give it a 10 out of 10. This is a must watch, guys. It came out in 2012, 2013. So if you haven't watched it yet,
there's DVDs in FYE.
There's DVDs in FYE.
I think Best Buy
Funimation owns it.
Yeah, it's streaming on Funimation if you have an account for that.
Yeah, if you have an account, because they separated from Verve.
Yeah.
Which was sad.
Yeah.
But guys, this is an amazing film. We recommend it highly. Must watch. So, closing things is what do we have planned for next week? Well, next week, me and Stats won't be here. We'll be on a business trip.
I also won't be here. We might have to, there's some stuff that might happen next week for, Dunda.
Okay.
Dungeon and Ducks. There's a chance we might have to reschedule that one.
Okay. You're not?
I can't make it. And
no, I was talking about Sunday.
Sunday?
For the next Raft review.
Oh no, next Sunday I'll be fine.
Okay, so it's gonna be you. I assume Amnesia Goose.
If he comes down.
And
if he doesn't come down, then.
And whoever else you want to grab for it.
Okay.
I'll give you this. When we leave.
We might just do one online if he does come down.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever you guys figure out. So I want to save that other anime movie for the week after for when I can do it.
Yeah.
So whatever you guys want to figure out to discuss, we can post on our socials.
That's fair. We'll probably update everyone by Wednesday so that if you guys want to watch it with us, you have a couple days to do it. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that's 3 days to catch up to potentially 12 episodes of an anime.
Okay. Yeah.
Or a movie. So
next weekend, guys. Dungeons and Duck is probably rescheduled. We'll make a post about it. Raft review will still happen. But
just missing 2.
Peking Duck is going to be leading the charge on next week's Raft review. Other than that, the streaming for this week coming up is regularly scheduled, unless there's any unforeseen circumstances.
Murder is on the horizon.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with us today.
Oh.
And we'll see you.
Fucking that movie.
We'll see you guys later.